Well, housing affordability is a topic we've been talking about a lot here, and one that is not going to go away anytime soon, no matter how much we may wish it were otherwise. In fact, if anything, I'm sorry to say the indicators appear to be moving in the wrong direction. And here to help me understand what's going on with the data is Edwena Dixon, Senior Mortgage Broker with Pinpoint Finance. Edwena, thank you for joining us on the Aussie Wire.
Thank you for having me.
What's this data telling you? You've been looking at the ABS data. Can we expect house prices to come down anytime soon?
Unfortunately, I don't see that happening. It certainly looks like the indications are that the cost of housing is actually going to continue to rise and affordability is going to become harder even still for people. What we are seeing from the ABS is that approvals for new construction, they're very low, and they're actually at the point where they're as low as what they were back in 2013, which is incredibly low and is a bit of a concern. The other thing that we're also seeing is the value of the cost of construction. So the cost to actually build a new home has increased to the highest we've ever seen.
Yeah, so simultaneously, what this data here is showing us the number of approvals is way down, but the actual value of those approvals is way up. This is a concern. Traditionally, what we've seen is new builds have been where, let's say, migrant communities or first home buyers or these sorts of people can get into the market. This is where it's more affordable than established dwellings that might be in more premium locations. This is going to put a lot of pressure, is it not, particularly in the context of an Australia with a very large immigration strategy?
Yes, it does mean that what will happen is more people will actually have to find other avenues for housing. It means that we might see an increase in multi-generational living starting to happen. It also means that the ability to be able to receive home loan approval, those things are also going to be dramatically diminished, and a lot of the property that was open and was encouraged to be purchased by first home buyers, by immigrants, is actually being taken off the table, and they're going to have to look at other avenues to be able to find somewhere to live.
So this was data that, again, you drew to my attention. This is can you talk us through this? This is the established house values, I believe?
Yeah, so this data that you're looking at the moment, this is what we're seeing as the median value of housing in the country and how it's actually just continued to increase. What we're then seeing is, with the implication of low construction approvals and the increase in the value of construction, it's really just going to continue to push property prices up even further, because as I think many of your viewers perhaps are aware, it's a supply and demand issue. And if there are less people that are able to afford to get approvals to build construction at that higher value, but we have more people looking for property to purchase, it's just going to push the value of property up even higher.
And in that data there, we can see the annual returns are actually negative for a number of states. But if you just look at the last quarter, it reverts back to being positive, indicating that the increase in construction values is now starting to affect established dwellings as well. And we're beginning to see that climb kick back in. Well, it makes for grim reading. Do you have any ideas, tips? What can people do to try and manage their own cost of housing? You're a mortgage broker. You help people do this all the time.
A big part of what we're seeing and what we're certainly encouraging our clients to do is to take the time to do one of those really tedious tasks, but to actually sit down and go through your budget and work out exactly what it is that you're spending your money on, whether you have enough income coming through, whether you need to make adjustments to what you're actually spending money on, or perhaps you need to be looking at a new job, or perhaps changing some other factors within your life based on what that budget says. What we're also encouraging our clients to do is not only do a budget for right now, for their current situation, but also to complete a budget that really looks at what could their situation look like in another, say, 6 months' time, especially if more rate rises do come through, so that they can best prepare for those now.
Yeah, it's not a pretty picture. I don't like bad news stories, but I can't help but feel that this story has a long way to run, and it's not going to be pretty. Edwena Dixon from Pinpoint Finance, thank you so much for joining us on the Aussie Wire.
Thank you for having me.